Hey guys, Carrie here. Welcome to the channel. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you how you can get incredibly overpowered in Outward without branching into any skill trees, and we're going to do this very early on. The main reason we're not going into skill trees is so you guys can decide how you want to play once you grasp the game, because it is pretty unforgiving from the start. And of course, I'm going to be starting a brand new character to show this off. Now this is basically my go-to run from the original game when it launched a couple years ago, and now here we are on the definitive edition. So from the start of the game, once you are in this beginning area here, you want to go ahead and grab everything you can, every item, pick the berries, kill these dogs if you can, get the predator bones. This is my inventory after clearing out everything here. And my character can't walk, so I'm going to press all the bumpers at the same time, and I can get that kill menu, which will move us right into our house in Cierzo. So once you're in your house, make sure you go into the basement and collect this old lantern. That is going to play a big role later on. So the first thing I did with the starting silver that I have is buy this backpack, so that way I could loot all of Cierzo and not be overburdened. So here's me after I've grabbed all of the items from Cierzo, and I'll just quickly go turn those into silver at one of the merchants. Okay, so I came out pretty good there, 174 bucks. Make sure you don't pay off your debt. We're going to do that with a favor later on. So I'm going to zip over to the blacksmith here. We're going to buy 15 poison arrows. Wow, a recurve bow, that's really sweet, but I'm going to buy the simple bow because the recurve bow is a pretty rare drop for him.
Is there something you need?
And then I'm going to go back to Doran here, the shopkeeper, where we got the bag, and we're going to buy all the lanterns from him. The alchemist NPC here, we're going to buy one warming potion from her. And then the traveling merchant over here, I was nice and lucky and he happened to have a scaled leather for me. So I made sure to buy that from him. And then with the bow equipped, we're going to speak to Birak at the gate here and have him teach us a skill. That's how we get evasion shot, which we'll need later on.
I feel comfortable letting you outside the wall.
So that's kind of what my inventory is looking like right now. Those are a lot of the key items that we're going to want. And now we're going to move into the Cierzo storage. So first thing, when you hop in here, hook a left and collect another lantern. And then you can go ahead and loot this area and progress through the cave where there's some enemies. If you'd like, you can fight them and then we can sell their stuff or run by them. If you're not ready, that's fine as well. Eventually you'll follow the path down until you can hop out through this crevice to the beach. That's where you can find this guy right here, and we can get a tribal favor from him by giving him a single bandage. So just make sure you still have that bandage from the beginning, or craft one with some linen cloth. So now we're just going to backtrack to the Cierzo town. This is going to be the path you want to run. If you follow it, keep an eye out for some tree trunks and little supply chests. These are all my goodies after coming back. Just turned more of it into silver here. I got another 100 bucks, so that's pretty sweet. Now this is optional, but I did come up top here and I learned just a basic entry skill for some more health. 50 silver, I was able to afford it. You guys don't need to do that, but it is nice. With an empty water skin, gather some salt water. Let's make sure we hand in that tribal favor, so our debt is now paid. And now let's use our kitchen down here in our house. So we're going to turn the salt water into drinkable water, and that's what gives us salt so we can make some travel rations. So first I was just using the bread and the jam in order to make some toast, and just turn in a bunch of food into travel rations. You'll want around 12 to 15. I believe 12 is the right number. So this is everything I have on me that we're going to be using. And we're basically ready to leave Cierzo now, so we're just going to sleep to morning. For myself, though, I'm going to go ahead and sleep 3 full days. And because I came back to this traveling merchant and he is restocked, and I was lucky enough to get another scaled leather from him. You guys might not get that on your third sleep from him. Just every 3 sleeps the merchants will refresh, and that's one of the random items. So if you are able to get it, you can turn it into the scaled leather like I did here, and that gives you plus 15% damage bonus. So that's why we're going for that. If you guys still weren't lucky enough to get the predator bones, I'm sure in Chersonese here, you'll be able to collect some along the way. So there's the route we're going to be taking, really straightforward, right over to the Immaculate's cave. Make sure to take a swig of water, eat a gadberry, and that should help your stamina regen on the run. Alright, so I'm just about there. It's just straight ahead under that archway. This is kind of my surroundings right now. And yeah, we're just going to head inside here, and we're going to speak to the Immaculate, and we're going to be able to ask him for a favor. And we're going to want to ask him for power. And then he is going to give us the Possessed Boon. It's actually a really good idea to do this almost every playthrough, just because it's really hard to get that boon any other way. There's a little chest you can loot as well for more goodies. And straight ahead there, up the mountain, is where we're going to be going. So just head through the archway, follow the path. It will eventually split, and we're going to be going left. Alright, so here's the entrance into the mountain, going through the Blue Chambers way. Alright, so this run, I'll kind of speed it up. I got a bunch of lights going. It's going to be your first right, your next right, all the way straight to the statue, and then we're taking a left, following that, very first right, left, and then you just follow that to the wooden door here. And that is how you can easily get into the center of the Conflux Mountain.
The first time
and we're just going to head up top and collect some mana.
Gain your first spell.
Now, I only took plus 2 points for 40 mana. You guys can take whatever you'd like. Just know that you can't give any back. So that's why I only started with 2. You can always come back and take more. And then there's this guy right here. If you've been collecting any goodies along the way, you can sell them off, get more silver, maybe buy a few things, up to you. And then we're going to exit back to Chersonese. Okay, so that spawns you right out here on this beach. So we're going to be just running up and around off to the Emar Forest. And don't forget another swig of water, just to make that run a little easier. Alright, so in the distance there we see the pirate ship. You can run up to it if you'd like, and there's a little puzzle we can solve. Basically just going to be clicking the moon and then the stars. You can net a little bit of extra silver from that. Alright, and there goes our first set of travel rations to reach the Emar Forest. So once here, this is going to be the route we're taking. We're starting way up there in the upper left, and we're running all the way down to visit our friendly Immaculate again. And we're going to be zipping around that Cabal Wind Temple. So I'll point that out in a second here. Looks like it is starting to get dark out in my game. I'll hopefully make this while it's still light. So there's that Wind Temple right there. So instead of going left, we're just going to follow west, going right around it there. You can come up the back side of it here. We got an old windmill straight ahead. You can loot that. Usually there's some good items in there. Zip out, following it southeast a bit there until you get to these steps. And you just follow that path around into this cave. So again, just right here, that's where we wound up on the map. And once more, we can speak to the Immaculate here, and we're going to ask for equipment this time. So he's going to give us the Master Trader Garb, which will help us out with some stamina, movement speed, and whatnot. And in my opinion, it's going to be very helpful for the boss that we are going to kill. So that's why we stop here. Alright, so I throw a bedroll down, and I'm just going to bring it up to some daylight, so that way you guys can see better, I can see better. Alright, we're just going to be running east here, past the burning tree, straight ahead of me there. And you'll see the hives showing up in the background. So there's that burning tree. There you can see that vigil pylon. That's how you kind of know you're in the right area. You can start turning kind of towards it. And eventually you'll see all these big hives, and we can eventually reach the entrance here. Alright, so I'll show you the path here as quick as possible. There's lots of enemies, so you're just going to want to run through all these guys. They're really annoying because some of the bigger guys have some hornets that they throw out at you, and you don't want that. Alright, so once you get up to the top here, we're now going to get ourselves equipped here with our skills. And some organizing of the backpack, because I'm going to drop my backpack during this fight, so I'm going to put everything I want into my pocket. Alright, so for the skills, we're going to have Throw Lantern, Evasion Shot, and Possessed. It's very key that we get those ones on, because that's what's going to help us out. Alright, so yeah, water, drop our bag. And you know what, actually here, before we have this boss fight, let's talk a little bit about the Tyrant of the Hive. So he's got 2000 HP, 10 health regen per second. And according to the wiki, the easiest way to kill him is 40 to 45 traps. That's ridiculous. We're not doing that. No one has time for that. So we're going to use Throw Lantern to inflict burning. And then we're going to drink our warm potion, and the warm potion is going to increase the fire damage by 20%. And if you're curious about the amplified stat at the bottom, I am going to cover that at the end of the video. So we're also going to be using poison arrows to inflict 1.5 decay damage, and our possess skill is actually going to increase that by 20%. And what's really nice is the Tyrant of the Hive is negative damage resistant to both decay and fire. So that works really, really good for what we're about to do. Alright, so for this fight, I'm not going to skip any of it. I will maybe fast forward a few lower parts, but anyways, let's start off by drinking that warm potion, and then let's activate the possess skill. So now when we do have fire and decay damage, the dot damage happening every second to him, it's going to be enhanced. So I'm going to run in with my lantern, throw that at him, and he's now on fire. I switch back to my bow, and at this point, just whenever you feel like you've got enough distance between him and yourself, you're going to want to hit him with some poison arrows. I believe it takes about 4 poison arrows in a short window to inflict the poison. And watch out when he does throw those hornets at you, so you always want to be moving. I like to keep this tree in between us. The tree, that rock, right here pretty soon, we're going to notice that that fire damage is going to wear off. And that's where our evasion shot is going to come in handy. So there, one more hornet. Yeah, he's just getting chunked. Okay, so there, no more fire damage. So there's our evasion shot, which inflicts cripple. So now he's moving 50% less movement speed for 10 seconds. So that should give us enough time to switch to a lantern, huck it at him, and then switch back to our bow. So at this point, I was just using regular arrows in the meantime to help whittle him down, but that is totally unnecessary and not needed. You can kill him with just the lantern's fire damage and the poison arrows. My stamina was almost out in that moment right there, so again, just use that tree to your advantage. Here we go, another lantern for him. He's already below half health. And yeah, it's as easy as that. He does pack a punch though. So if he gets close to you, you want to be moving. I think you could take maybe 2 hits at full health right now. So that's why that Master Trader Garb is just so helpful, because it does help manage your stamina a little better in this fight. And of course, so does your water flask. Mine, of course, is now worn off, but hey, this fight is almost over. I don't think I've touched on the corruption, by the way. Obviously, all the green smoke that you're seeing, part of the new definitive edition, that is slowly building corruption on us. But if you're doing the method that I'm using here to kill this Hive boss, we're not going to be in here for long. In fact, one little purity potion afterwards will get rid of the negative effects that it gives us. Alright, so right here he is about to drop. One more arrow maybe. There we go. So don't immediately run to his body once you kill him, because those little hornets, they will explode and deal big damage. Alright, we can now loot his body, and that is how we get the boss weapon, the World Edge Great Axe. Run back and retrieve your bag and zip out of there. Alright, so congratulations guys. You now have a very, very strong weapon. You've got 15% armor to boost that damage as well when you're wearing it. And we're actually going to be increasing that in a couple minutes here on the video. So I'll just fast forward here showing you how to get out for anyone that needs it. It's a very short 10-second run. And now we're back in the Emar Forest. Okay, so this works out perfect because we're just right down there at the hives. So we're just going to hop out and run south. And that's going to take us right to Caldera. So run up the hill there. There's that burning tree. Once you see that, you want to start heading more east than south. And eventually you'll find the gates here. So we're going to use some more of those travel rations to get in. Alright, so this is the map. So I'll show you here where we're running. So there we are up at the Emar Forest entrance, and we're just going to zip over to visit that Immaculate's refugee again. And the reason we're doing this is to get a nice backpack. So right here, if you see that big ship there, I kind of have that on my back left side as I'm running up these hills. I think I kind of took a weird route if I'm being honest, but yeah, if you eventually see this path here behind the ship, running down here past this enemy, staying east, southeast sort of. Eventually you'll see the vigil pylon in the distance over there, and then there'll be this pathway coming up here on the left right there. Instead of following the path, if you go down and under it, that is how we get into the Immaculate's refugee. And yeah, that's right, you guessed it, we're asking for more help, and we're going to be asking for storage to get that backpack. Alright, so that backpack, it's going to give us 70 slots and 15% more damage while we're wearing it. So again, that's why we're picking that up. Downside though, you can't put a lantern on it, but you can roll normally while wearing it. So again, works really great for this melee build so far. And yeah, you can typically actually get to the Emar Forest right here. It's a little early, but it still lets it work. There's the ship in the background, so you guys can see kind of where I was. So yeah, back in Emar Forest, that's the path to Chersonese, just all the way up there. You may want to stop in Berg and grab some skills, but that's totally up to you. Myself, I'm going to be heading right back to Chersonese to get to Cierzo, because I'm not quite done there. But honestly, at this point, you guys could do whatever you want. You have a really strong weapon. But I'm going to show you how to get it even stronger. Yeah, and the Immaculate, by the way, that we've been speaking to for favors, it's worth mentioning that by doing this, you won't be able to get the Dreamer's Halberd from him. So just make sure you know that. So back in Cierzo, this is how much money I have after selling all the things I gathered along the way. Or at least most of them. I was able to speak with this guy and get more skilled leather, so I finished off the boots and the hat, which each piece gives you +7 to physical damage. At that point, I was fishing out some boots from Cierzo, initially hoping to find blue sand, so now I'm going to go back through their storage to the beach and kill some of these guys. Sadly, not getting any blue sand. So we're going to pop into the Starfish Cave. You just pitch a tent there and wait till nighttime. Once it's nighttime, you can hop inside and you can collect blue sand from 3 spots inside of here. There is another guy you can kill and he might drop more. One of these mantis lobsters. Again, I'm getting nothing from them though. If it's still nighttime, blue sand is on the beach as well. This guy finally decided to drop me some blue sand. Alright, and before heading back to Cierzo, we're pretty close to the Holy Mission's entrance in the Conflux Mountain. So that's right here, that's what this looks like. And we're going to pop inside to get ourselves another weapon. You can speak with this guy who's going to help you clean it out, because there is actually some tough enemies in here. You're looking for one of these dudes with the red glow on their back. Now once you kill him, he's going to drop you the mushroom halberd. And that weapon is really, really good because it inflicts poison on enemies. And if you remember from earlier, when we have that boon activated, the possessed boon, when someone is now poisoned, they're taking decay damage and that boon amplifies it. So that weapon just works so well with this. So again, before returning to Cierzo, I went down to the Vendaval Fortress. You guys don't need to do this. I was just not wanting my Cierzo town to get overrun by these guys. I think it's like a 40-day timer or something. But yeah, I was feeling strong enough to easily take out these 3 warlords with my World Edge Great Axe. They actually can be kind of tough. I feel like maybe I made that look a little easy. Looks like I actually also got a bird mask along the way, so that was kind of nice. Got a bit more movement speed. And now I can turn in that blue sand with money, and this guy is going to craft us some blue sand armor. So you just sleep for a day and collect each piece one at a time, and then you will get the blue sand armor. So that's going to offer some serious defense for you guys. So if you are in a fight and you're just not tanky enough, throw on the blue sand armor, and now you should be able to withstand quite a few hits from creatures and other enemies. And again, don't forget to activate that boon if you want to do more damage with that axe. It's not just the poison tick damage that it will do, it's just also the base damage of the axe. Alright, so I'm of course purposely getting hit, but as you can see I was able to take a lot of damage. So that's how we can get a tank, a high damage fighter, and some mobility as well, all in one, and very early on. We haven't used any breakthrough points. So I did mention earlier about that amplified stat with the decay and the possessed. So if you want, you can travel through Ghost Pass up to this little wind temple thing up here. Looks just like this. And inside you can speak with this guy here. And what he offers is going to be the shamanic resonance. And that's going to increase your damage and defense by 30 instead of 20. So again, from earlier, that means that dot damage with poison is going to do 30% more, and also your World Edge Great Axe will as well. So if you do want to keep this sort of build going, that would be a really good breakthrough point. And honestly, any of these 4. That would be my recommendation. But again, at any point, you could ditch the weapons and armor and turn that build into whatever you want, because we hadn't used any breakthrough points. And that's the build, guys. So that took me about just under an hour to grab all of those items and materials. So hopefully early on, you guys can have a much better time in Outward. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.